When I wrote the poem Where You Find Poetry, I mostly thought about line breaks and repetition. I didn't think too much about the title because I got inspired by a poem called Where Poetry Hides. I rewrote my poem about 3 to 4 times before I actually liked it. I tried out doing line breaks, which I think worked out pretty well. I really like repetition, and even though it's a bit funny, it really means something to me. So here's my poem, Where Do You Find Poetry? Poetry hides under your bed, deep in the dark is its home, even if poetry itself is as bright as the sun. Poetry hides in the sink, where it waits for you to come and look at it with poet's eyes. Poetry hides right on your head, like a head lice, not wanting to let go. You itch and you itch and you itch, till a light bulb goes on, right on your head. Poetry, poetry, where is it gone? I don't know the answer. Gotta find it alone. When I wrote the poem, What is Poetry All About?, I kind of thought of myself in first grade because I remember we did poetry back then, and I was asking my teacher the whole time, what is poetry? What is it all about? Like, what are we doing here? And it was really funny, and I kind of thought back to that time, and I thought that would make a great poem. I tried a bit doing line breaks, and my clarity's not the best, but I did my best. I rewrote the poem like 18 times before I actually liked it, and you might get confused because it's with 2 people. One is a person who kind of like me in first grade, and the other one's the teacher who's trying to motivate you. So here's my poem, What is Poetry All About? Poetry is poetry. You just can't explain. Why do you ask? You have it in your veins. I still don't understand. It's not that hard. Take a closer look into yourself. I know it's a bit hard, but just relax. You'll find it soon. So take a try. Well, fine, I'll try it out. But please don't laugh. Okay, here's my poem. Poetry. Poetry. I have no clue. Who is me or who is you? I don't know, so just don't ask. See? It's good. I knew you could. Just have more trust. That really never harms. When I thought about writing a poem about roses, I got inspired by this poem about roses and about kind of like every single flower. And I thought about my favorite flower, which is roses. And roses mean a lot to me because when my sister was in England, she sent me a whole bunch of roses, and they're now everywhere in my room, and they really mean a lot to me. So here's my poem, Roses. Red as blood, pretty as rainbow, shimmering in the sun, standing on your desk, a sign of love. From who? From who? Everybody asks, eager to know, because roses mean love, getting them from the person who loves you the most. Well, when I wrote the poem, So Much Depends, I got inspired again by this great book that I read, Love That Dog. I really love that book. It's my favorite poetry book. And in one of Jack's poems, he's the main character, he writes a poem about so much depends. It's like the hook of the story, and also it kind of leads you out, and the conclusion. And I really like that poem and how it kind of like wraps everything up. So mine's not as good as Jack's, but I try my best. So here's my poem, So Much Depends. So much depends about you believing me, giving me hope and trust, being on my side this time. So much depends of being like you and the way you are. Just the way you are, just so perfect. So much depends about not being me and seeing the world once with different eyes. When I wrote the poem, The Greatest Teacher Ever, I mostly thought about line breaks and focus. Focus about me going up to 6th grade, and that the reader needs to know about how much I don't want to go up to 6th grade, whatever the reason is. And that the greatest teacher ever is one of the main reasons why I just want to stay. I tried line breaks, and I got inspired because other people were always thinking about and wanting to do a poem for the best teacher, and so I tried it. So here's the poem, The Greatest Teacher Ever. Recommended for Miss Gladding. I learn way more the way she teaches. So helpful, but still really funny. She gives us great tips. And then, she is the queen of math, our favorite class, with our favorite teacher. Don't want to go. Just want to say, or her to meet up, right with me. But still she'll stay, my favorite teacher anyway. No way that she won't. Our favorite teacher, our best Miss Gladding. When I wrote the poem, A Raindrop of Pain, I mostly thought about the divorce of my parents. And Miss Gladding, our teacher, always told us that it's really important to kind of like have somewhere where you get your ideas from. And I thought, even though it's not a really that great thing that happened to me, but it's something that I could write a lot about. And I tried using metaphors, I did a bit of repetition, and I tried to do my title, and it's A Raindrop of Pain, about my divorce, of the divorce of my parents. So here it is, A Raindrop of Pain. I always knew saying goodbye is hard, but I never experienced it until today. Someone you love from all your heart, but still knowing you can't. I see a raindrop while crying in the kitchen. How short it must be before the rain splashes and her pain begins. The tear on my cheek must made it rain. But I try to find happier times. But that's just too hard for me right now. A raindrop of pain, a raindrop of hope, splashing down my cheek. Math. When I wrote this poem, I kind of didn't really like it because I'm horrible at math. I'm just horrible at math. And I tried writing about something that I can't do, so I tried focusing on line breaks, tried to do focus, and I tried to do my best. I rewrote it 18 to 20 times, and I still didn't like it. I wanted to put something about division in, but then I changed my mind, but never mind. So, math. What is it all about? What do you need to learn? What do you do but sit around? That's the question! More like an answer. Math, math. Oh dear, math. Don't waste your time and do math.